We're now joined by Professor of International Law, Dr. Khaled Dawoud, the Managing Editor of Al-Ahram Weekly. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Thank you.
What is your opinion on Egypt's substantial support towards Lebanon following the directives by President Fattah El-Sisi?
Well, I think it reflects the very special relationship between Egypt and Lebanon that goes way decades back, if not like hundreds of years back. I mean, out of all the Arab countries, Lebanon is one of the closest to Egypt. We've had many Lebanese coming over to Egypt, and having business here and staying here. So there's a lot of mixture on many levels between Egypt and Lebanon, and probably that's, as far as I understood, is going to be the first kind of dispatch of assistance that Egypt is going to be offering to Lebanon in those extremely difficult circumstances. And more is expected to follow. Actually, I remember that in all the previous wars and military clashes that Lebanon has had, Egypt was always at the... If you would recall, in 2006, after the vicious war Israel conducted against Lebanon, it was Egypt that took the responsibility of fixing all the electricity grids in Lebanon. And we also saw the former president, Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak, heading towards Lebanon himself to declare solidarity with the Lebanese people and to confirm our rejection for this aggression that the Israelis have been conducting against the Lebanese. So, I mean, yes. This is just the first step, and I'm sure more will follow.
So, as you said, sir, that in general, Egypt has always long supported the Lebanese and Lebanon, the nation. So how would you interpret Egypt's official condemnation of the Israeli attacks on Lebanon? Is it of significance for the Lebanese people and the Lebanese government? Caretaker government?
I think it's very important because Egypt, of course, is the largest Arab country. It has actually been a vital role in the entire peace process since we signed our own peace agreement in 1979. And probably Egypt's opinion carries a lot of weight in the Arab world, as well as our international relations, particularly with the United States. We're also a strategic ally of the United States. And this condemnation, together with that of other major Arab countries, including Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, and others, sends a clear message to the Americans that what Egypt has been warning from, what President Abdel has been warning from since day one of the Gaza war, that this war is...
Which kind of, sir, brings me to the next idea. I mean, as you were saying, that Egypt is a heavyweight within the region, and the president himself was one of the people that expressed strong support for Lebanon against the Israeli aggression. It wasn't just, you know, the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Egypt that came out with a statement, but also the president himself spoke about it. So what are your thoughts on these statements, and how important is it that the president himself spoke about it?
I mean, this reflects the dangerous situation that we're in. I mean, like, again, since day one, the Gaza war started, Egypt has been, extremely influential in trying to reach a ceasefire agreement in order to end the war in Gaza. And actually, what happened in Lebanon over the past few weeks confirmed the key Egyptian fear that if we don't stop the war in Gaza, this definitely will turn into an all-out regional war, which is going to bring more destruction, more economic suffering to the peoples of the region. So that's why, actually, you know, President Abdel El-Sisi and the Egyptian Foreign Ministry have been clear from the beginning of this war in Gaza that if you want to calm down the Lebanese front, if you want to calm down the Yemeni front in terms of the attacks by the Houthis, if you want to stop the attacks coming out from Iraq, back to a real peace process that would assure that we don't keep on going back to those kinds of military confrontations, which are mainly a result of the continuation of the Israeli occupation and the war against Gaza. And then we're going to have the chance to kind of work on a true peace process. But if we continue with this current Israeli right-wing government policy of expanding wars and hitting in nearly every surrounding Arab country in Lebanon, in Syria, and in Yemen, and in Iran. So definitely this is not a recipe for peace at all. It just makes matters worse, and that's why Egypt's view on this matter, along with other key Arab countries, should carry weight, especially with the United States, the key provider of weapons and diplomatic cover to the Israelis. So I hope that the United States, even though we're into an election month, but still I mean, the American interests are at stake, and they should definitely do more to stop their ally from carrying out those attacks. And the key tool they have in their hand, the Americans, is the weapons they keep on providing Israel with. Without those weapons, I don't think Israel would have been able to withstand its attacks against Gaza, against Lebanon, against Syria, against Yemen. Definitely impossible to do all this without Americans.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Dr. Khaled Dawoud, the Professor of International Law. Thank you so much for your insights, but unfortunately we're out of time for this segment and for the special coverage.